Now we're moving over to talking about different parts of the mind, with a special emphasis on their relevance for making choices. And we'll start by talking about emotions. So previously we talked about how the brain has some dispositions that evolved early. For instance, that you could bow down if you saw this big and threatening shadow, or maybe freeze if there's a big enemy approaching, etc. But you can have more advanced and complex reactions if these dispositions are combined with emotions. So that's a sort of evolutionary explanation of why we have different emotions. So it can then be, for instance, that the body reacts either to homeostasis, which is an expression for the internal balance inside the body, that the body can register and see now, oh, it's the blood sugar is low, and it can make you feel thirsty or feel hungry, or maybe you register different threats in the outside world, or something that can be a reward, food, drink, opportunity for having sex, etc. And then emotions will prepare the body for a certain action that will fit the situation then. Either you feel hungry and you go and get some food, you feel threatened, and then the body will prepare either to fight or flight, as it's called, that you get adrenaline, the pupils broaden so it's easier to see, your mind gets focused, etc. If there's this threat, or if there's a reward, for instance the opportunity then to have sex, it will also prepare the body both for men and women different ways. So it's this way of having more complex reactions to certain situations. That is the main function of these different emotions. But we can differentiate, make a distinction between emotions as something happening in the body, different sorts of chemicals being sent out in the blood system, adrenaline and all these sort of things, and feeling as a physical area in the brain that represents then different feelings and can make us be conscious of different feelings. These can be conscious or non-conscious. So it clearly is some physical areas for at least some basic common emotions. We know that we can put electricity in certain parts of the brain and make people feel either extreme fear or extreme rage that you can just manipulate with electricity on the brain, but also that we can have non-conscious feelings, and these areas in the brain can be activated and influence our choices even if we don't understand why. And it helps us understand and explain why sometimes maybe we do something else than what we feel that we want the most or that we think is the smartest, but non-conscious emotions are also influencing our choices. So there are some universal emotions, or at least to a large degree. Some debate on exactly how that should be understood, but common examples would be then anger, happiness, disgust, fear, sadness, and surprise. Typically found in all cultures. And it makes sense then that these are useful emotions to have. So it makes sense that they have evolved, and it makes sense even that they show in the face. It's a point that you communicate, I'm angry now, or I'm sad, I need some comfort, etc. And we don't say, I think I see on your kneecaps that you're a bit sad, because that's not so easy to see, but the emotions are shown in the face also. So we can make a very broad distinction then between positive and negative emotions associated with pain and pleasure then, but where the main goal of the positive emotions is then to make you approach this that makes you feel good, make you want that to happen more times. And that's typical good things for surviving and eating and having sex, whereas painful and negative emotions are something that you want to avoid because that's not good for survival. And our emotions then are important for choices in the sense that we make experiences about what is good or what is bad, what we want more of or what we want less of, and since we can remember that when we make later choices, that makes emotions also have an important role for choices. And we're going to take a further look at how that happens in the next video, where we'll talk about memory.